go. Recording in session. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for our presentation today on IRIS, the Integrated Referral and Intake System. My name is Mandy Krebs, and I am the co-director of the ROE26 IRIS Community Collaboration. Today, you're going to be hearing from a couple different presenters. I'm going to start things off with giving you just a little bit of history on how we got here. So I started with ROE26 in July of last year. Previously, I was at Spoon River College for 10 years. During that time, I was a student success coach, and I was oftentimes working with students and referring them out to community agencies for support. When I came on to ROE26 as a family support specialist, I again began working with families and making referrals out into the community. And throughout that whole time, I found the process kind of frustrating. So a lot of times I was looking through social service guides that were man-made. They would include phone numbers. Sometimes they were out of date. They didn't always include all the information about eligibility criteria, if programs were currently accepting applications, and so on and so forth. So I think anybody who makes referrals in the community can probably relate to that. So during that time, I was also investigating ways that I could support the truancy program and the truancy officers, and they do a lot of making of referrals out into the community. And so I stumbled upon ROE47's website. They are building a program similar to our LEAP program, and they also have implemented IRIS in their community. So I quickly fell in love with IRIS and began sharing that love and passion with Christine. Christine is a longtime friend of mine, and so I'm blessed to be able to get to work with her every day. But during that time, she was investigating this Birth to 5 Illinois planning grant and looking at ways that she could build an early childhood education collaboration and strengthen the partnerships within the community to grow enrollment in those programs. So we were just chit-chatting one day, and she was sharing with me this opportunity, and I said, I've got the perfect idea for that. And I started talking to her about IRIS, and I showed her the Why IRIS video that everybody has seen. And so we decided in October that we were going to apply for the Birth to 5 Illinois Planning Grant, and we were awarded that grant. We were one of 9 agencies in the state of Illinois to be awarded that grant in January. And so here we are. We have purchased IRIS, and we are, go to the left a little. There we go. All right, so we were awarded the Birth to 5 planning grant. So this is a 6-month grant, but during the 6-month period, we have paid for IRIS for the next 3 years. So we paid for the first year of implementation, and then we paid for maintenance for year 2 and year 3. So throughout this 3-year period, any organization is going to be able to join the IRIS community partnership. After year 3, or I guess in this fall, we're hoping to apply for the Birth to 5 implementation grant to continue the work and cover the cost of IRIS from year 4 on. But if for some reason we were to get denied that grant, we have already started exploring alternative ways to fund it in year 4. Worst case scenario is that all agencies would have to chip in year 4, but our hope is that we will have, 100 partners. The cost of IRIS is about $6,000 for maintenance per year. That's just an estimate. So we're looking at $60 a year for each agency to be a part of the continuing of use of IRIS. So it would be very, very low cost to the agencies. But we don't anticipate that we would not be able to find funding there. We've already come across a couple of different grants, but we would like to continue our partnership with Birth to 5, obviously. So we're going to be writing for that in the fall. All right. So a little bit about IRIS. Most of you, I think, that are on the call today have already watched the Why IRIS video, but IRIS is an integrated referral and intake system that will allow us to see what resources are available in the community, and make referrals to those, and then be able to monitor whether those families actually received services and are connected with those partnering agencies. So that's going to be really great. IRIS was developed and is currently managed by the University of Kansas Center for Public Partnerships and Research. And as you can see on the screen, there is a map of Illinois. And so these are the counties that already have IRIS implemented. All those counties are in green. And then the people who are, or I'm sorry, they're already launched. And the counties that are in purple are people who are in the implementation process, just like us. So you can see our Bangkok, McDonough, Fulton, and Schuyler counties are all purple. And then there's a couple other purple counties, Effingham and Clay, I think. So the hope and the dream of IRIS, I think, is that all counties in Illinois will eventually be in IRIS, and then they will be able to open up the borders and allow us to make referrals between agencies. But right now, partnering agencies will only be able to make referrals in our 4-county region. Later, we'll get in to different topics on how you would maneuver if you're in different IRIS organizations and how you can easily move back and forth between those in the software. But this is just a little brief overview of where it's already launched and being implemented. Okay. So now I am going to turn it over to Mary Odom. She is our partner at the University of Kansas for Public Partnerships and Research, and her teammate Catherine Lane are going to give you a more in-depth look at what IRIS looks like.
Thanks, Mandy. Good morning, everyone. Excited to be here. So I know that you have seen the Why IRIS video. Mandy just gave you a great kind of introduction. So I'm just going to tag on to some of the things that she talked about. And then, as we said, my colleague Catherine is actually going to jump in and give us a demonstration today. So that's the really exciting part. So I'm gonna keep my section fairly limited. So how IRIS works. We at the University of Kansas Center for Public Partnerships and Research are not software developers. We are social scientists, if you will. We're part of the university's community engaged scholarship arm. And so we are all about being in the business of applying research to practice and to policy, and really trying to make an impact for the individuals supporting families in communities. Our mission is to optimize the well-being of children, youth, and families. And we find that partnering with individuals such as yourselves, and Mandy and Christine at ROE 26 is a great way to further that mission. So how IRIS works. We built IRIS in response to a common concern we heard from partners about referral networks being challenging places for families to navigate without support. Resources that are provided or resource providers are committed to connecting families to resources, but often that happens in silos, or it's difficult to communicate or track referrals. And so we developed IRIS as a potential solution to what we were hearing from partners. So it is very people focused. As I said, we are not software developers. We're social scientists. We're researchers, and so we are focused on supporting networks such as yourselves so that you can do the important work of focusing on serving families. We designed our implementation approach to be streamlined and to focus on meeting specific community needs. And so we can kind of dig into that a little bit later. I believe Christine's going to touch on what the implementation approach will look like. But we really focus on the needs of the community and then layer on the technology. We know technology can be really helpful in a lot of ways in our lives, but just providing technology isn't what's going to solve this problem. We need to build relationships, make connections, and really learn about the resources available in our community and communicate about them. Throughout the process of communicating around referrals, we have a lot of really neat data that becomes available to us. So we really want to focus on measuring what matters, monitoring referrals, making sure families aren't falling through the cracks, knowing and communicating about capacity to serve families. So families aren't kind of searching around town only to find that resources aren't available, and then tracking those changes over time to fill gaps for services in the communities and really maximize efficiency and resources. If you'll want to pop to the next slide really quick, I'll just talk a little bit about kind of coordination for a healthy community. As I said, we're going to talk about implementation here in a little bit, but it's really all about partners coming together around a shared community vision. Typically, IRIS begins with a core group of partners who share a vision for streamlining referrals for individuals and families they serve. You can think of an IRIS community as kind of a referral network of organizations partnering to use the tool. A community can be defined as a city, a county, a 4-county region, if you will. Geography really doesn't limit the definition of what an IRIS community is. And your community can and should change as needs change. And so as we're kind of going through this process, we just want you to keep in mind that the decisions that we make to meet the needs now will continue to be flexible and we expect them to change, and we'll support you through those processes as well. And then just one final slide that I'm going to touch on today, and that is that IRIS does meet the regulations of the HIPAA security rule. So that may resonate a lot with some of you, and all of you probably, but some more than others. And so we just want to kind of put this out in the world right away to let you know so that you're not kind of having these concerns as you're watching the demo. Also, if there are organizations on the call today or that are engaged later in the future that have additional regulations, data security policies that they need to make sure are covered, we're happy to have those conversations. We have lots of resources available on our website that kind of talk about and demonstrate the ways in which we are compliant with a number of different policies and regulations, but we understand we also obviously value client confidentiality and data security. So we want to be partners in that process with you. It's not something we shy away from, but really something we want to embrace with you throughout this process. And with that, I'm going to shut it down and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Catherine, who's going to get into the really fun part of the IRIS demonstration.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine. I'm one of Mary's colleagues at KU CPPR. Really excited to get to know your community and get started with working. So if you could go to the next slide, please. Okay, so before we hop into the demonstration, just want to start off by giving a at a glance, bird's eye view of what a life cycle of a referral in IRIS looks like. So as you can see, the IRIS referral process is represented through the life cycle of the IRIS flower. So there are 4 different statuses through the life cycle of the referral. So first we have our sent referral represented with a seed and a flower pot. Once that referral is accepted, we see the seed has sprouted. And then after the referral has been completed, the loop has been closed, we see a fully bloomed iris. If the partner receives a referral but cannot accept it, we see the symbol of the no sign through the seed. So that's just to give you a visual before we hop into the demonstration, to kind of give you some context of how we phrase the life cycle of a referral. Okay, so I'm actually gonna, if I could share my screen, I will go ahead and share the IRIS training environment.
Yeah. Yes. All right, you should be a co-host now, Catherine.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, let me get situated here. Okay. Okay, I think everyone can see my screen, right? Okay, great. Okay, so here we are logged into the Iris application. I'm going to demonstrate a few key features in Iris. As an original disclaimer, want everyone to know that this is a training environment, of course. None of the information or the data or the client information here is real. It's all staged training information. Okay, so when we first log into Iris, we are greeted with the My Home screen, which serves as the main dashboard for my organization's referral activity. So we see at a glance, our referrals are organized with our incoming referrals, our outgoing referrals, and our recently completed referrals. This is a screen that we can easily make a new referral, and we can update our organization's capacity bar, which I'm going to touch on in a little bit. To the left here, we have the navigation menu, which is home to several key features in Iris that I'll touch on throughout the demonstration. Okay, so back to the My Home screen. Here you'll see referral cards. So each card represents a single referral in Iris. It shows a couple pieces of information. So we see the name of our client or family. We see the referral partner and their organization logo, and we see when that referral was sent. We can sort our referrals. If we have a whole long list of referrals, we can sort them by, when they were made, the status of their referral, and the name of our client or our referral partner, just to make it easier to find a referral if needed. The top right corner here, like I said, is our capacity bar. So this is a feature in Iris used to let our partners know what our current capacity or our current availability for new referrals is. So it works from a color gradient scale, going from red, indicating that we're accepting referrals, we have capacity, to red, meaning that we're not accepting any referrals or we're at capacity, and then anywhere in between. So to update it, we just click our capacity bar, update our capacity. We slide the scale to indicate visually where we're at, and then we can add a little note saying, we have a 2-week waiting list, we only have 2 vouchers left, or we're accepting all referrals, or we're at complete capacity. How the capacity bar is used is ultimately up to your community. Different communities have different standards relating to capacity bar, how they would like to use it. However, the system will require organizations to provide an updated capacity every 7 days. So just to ensure that that information is up to date, it's current, your partner can be confident that they know what your organization's capacity is looking like. So after 7 days, the system will prompt you to update your capacity bar. It's going to pop up like this. So just adjust the slider, add a note, and then click submit. Okay. And also, if anyone has any questions throughout the demonstration, Mary, if you would, keep the chat, keep monitoring the chat, feel free to interrupt me, have any questions. We can also have a lot of time for questions at the end. Okay, so I'm going to move on to making a new referral in Iris. So I will just click the Make a New Referral button. As you can see at the top of the screen here, there are 4 easy steps to making a referral in Iris. So first, we're going to add or select a family to refer. We will then choose from a menu of our referral partners. We will add referral details, and then we'll send the referral. So we will begin by selecting a family that I would like to refer by using this search feature. So I will put the first few letters of the name and date of birth of the primary contact of the family or the client. And we see the first and last name and then the date of birth of the individual. It's just an additional identifier for this family so that we know we have the right person. So if this is the person I want to refer, I'll just click on their name, verify that I have acquired the proper consent to make this referral on their behalf, and then click next. If I am looking for a family and I see that no results are found, that shows me that I need to add a new family profile in our system. We really encourage users to use the search feature before adding a new family, just to, make sure that we don't have a bunch of duplicates of families in the system to make it confusing. Okay, so I'm looking for Maggie. Maggie's not in our system, and I'm going to add a new family. So of course, it's also important to obtain client consent to add their information, to add their profile in Iris. So I'll click this box to indicate this client has agreed to have their first and last name, a method of contact, and their date of birth in the Iris system. So the limited information you see here makes up the family profile, and this is visible to all other organizations in your Iris network. The more in-depth and specific information within the referral that you'll see here in a bit is only viewable within that referral between the two organizations involved in that specific referral. Okay, so once the client agrees that I can add their information into the system, I'll just enter in the few pieces of information that I need.
While Catherine's typing that out, I will share that consent is a topic that you can expect to discuss during the implementation process. We know the ways in which organizations gain consent, again, regulations, policies that some partners need to follow vary from organization to organization. And so it's important to have an understanding of what type of consent partners must get, and making sure that we're following those regulations when utilizing a new tool such as Iris. So if you have questions, concerns about your own consent process, how to adapt it to meet the needs of Iris, or to incorporate the use of Iris, that is certainly going to be a conversation during implementation.
Yeah, certainly. Okay. So now I have Maggie. I've confirmed that I have consent to make this referral on her behalf, and I'm going to click next. So here I see my partner selection screen. So here's my menu of all the partners in my Iris organization that's available to me. As you can see, each partner is represented with a card, which includes the name and logo of that organization and their capacity bar just at a glance. So there are a couple features in Iris that help users make an informed decision on behalf of their client to make high quality referrals. So if I'm unsure as to which partner will best serve the family I'm working with, there are two tools I can use to make that informed decision. So first is the service area filters. So here at the top of the screen, I see a variety of service areas, and these act as filters for these referral partner cards. So if I know that Maggie's looking for some, behavioral health help, I can click the behavioral health filter service area, and I can see my options are now limited to the partners that apply to that service area. You can click on multiple service areas, as many as you would like. To unselect them, you simply click them again. And then you can see what partners apply to what you're looking for. Another feature is the See Details feature. So underneath each partner card, we have a See Details button, I can click. If I want to know more information about a certain partner, I can click the See Details feature. And it just gives me more information on this partner. It might have a link to their website. It shows me, where they're located, gives me their capacity, the primary contact of their organization, a little blurb about them, just to know more about what they offer, and also importantly, any eligibility criteria that organization might have. And then it also shows you the service areas that they provide at their organization. So this is super helpful, just making informed decisions on if this is the right referral partner to send your client to.
And those two tools that Catherine just demonstrated are also areas that are discussed during implementation. Obviously, when we're talking about service areas, we're talking about descriptors of the partners in your community. It should be language, shared language that you all kind of know and understand. They should represent the partners that are available in your community. And then also, if there's specific information that needs to be shared on those organization profile cards, such as what counties you serve. You all will be in a 4-county region. If some of your organizations serve perhaps 3, but not the 4th county, that'll be helpful information to share throughout this process, so that, again, we're making informed decisions about where we're sending families for resources.
Absolutely. Okay, so once I've, done a little bit of, work in learning more about my partners, I'm going to select a partner that I think is the best fit. In Iris, you can also select multiple partners at one time. If a client is in need of multiple services at a certain point in time, you can do that. If Maggie needs some behavioral health assistance, and also she needs some help from the food bank and home visiting, you can do that. And you can click next and send referrals on behalf of Maggie for all those organizations. For the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to send a referral to one organization, to behavioral health. Okay, so I'm going to click behavioral health and click next. So now it's time to enter the referral information. This includes the information collected about the family that is being sent to just your referral partner. This referral form is completely customizable based on the needs of a community. However, all organizations within a community are filling out the same referral form. So it's uniform, everyone's on the same page. And of course, that requires communication between organizations within the network to make sure that everyone has their needs met within their referral form. Okay, so I'm just going to put in the information that I need to in order to make this referral, and then click submit.
And as Catherine's doing that, again, I'm just going to jump in and share that that referral detail screen is also a really helpful way to capture any community-wide data if that is important to you. If perhaps for specific grant funding, you need to focus on service referrals made on behalf of pregnant women or something along those lines, you can capture that information there so it can be easily kind of filtered and used on the back end. So certainly a warm handoff for the referral process, but just keeping in mind that it can also be a really great way to share and capture data.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so at this point, we've made our referral in Iris. An email notification has been sent to my referral partner, allowing them to quickly act on this referral. So once you've sent the referral, you'll see this referral card that represents the referral you just sent. You can click on the card and you'll be sent to this referral details screen. So it just shows you at a glance all the information that you entered into that referral, gives you the information of the referral partners that this is between. And this is also a place where you can communicate with your partner by sending a comment. If you have any updates on this referral, you have any questions, you have updated contact information, you can do that here in this comments section on the side of the referral details screen. So if we go back to my home screen, you can now see that Maggie is in our outgoing referrals section. So she's been put there. Okay. Yeah, and so, of course, you can, this is another place where this referral card shows up. You can, from here, also click on this referral card and be taken back to this, this page. Okay, and of course, we see that the referral at this point is represented by a seed in a flower pot, indicating that we sent the referral, but our partner has not acted on it. It has not been accepted quite yet. If it was accepted, it would have a little sprout coming out of the pot. Okay, so let's look at an incoming referral at this point. So I'm going to go to my home screen again, and I see the list of incoming referrals coming into my organization. Okay, so again, as we look at these referral cards, I can see at a glance which referrals have already been acted on, have already been accepted, but I see that Joe has not.
Catherine,
Go ahead, Mary.
sorry, I know I'm going to try not to derail you, but would you actually utilize Switch Access and demonstrate that to pop into
Sure,
behavioral
yes,
health?
of course. Okay, so the Switch Access feature is a feature in Iris that is used for individuals that might have access to multiple communities, multiple organizations within a network. And also it can go across networks. An individual can have, access within the ROE community as well as another community in Illinois, for example. So if I switch access, let's see, I sent Maggie Smith to behavioral health. So if I switch access to behavioral health, I am now in the behavioral health Iris. I see the referrals that have been sent to behavioral health and outgoing from them as well. And that's, you see the very persistent capacity bar prompting me because it has not been updated. So I'm going to say accepting referrals. Okay. So in my incoming referrals, I see Maggie here. So I'm pretending like I'm now at behavioral health acting on Maggie's referral. So I'll click on Maggie's referral card, and this is a good place. This is the referral details screen. I'm going to review the information within this referral, looking at the information that my partner sent me. Yeah, so I'll review that to see if my organization can act on this referral. If my organization cannot act on this referral, I can click reject. So when rejecting a referral, I'm prompted to provide a reason as to why I'm rejecting. And standard reasons are included here. Maybe the client does not meet eligibility for our services. My organization does not have capacity. We don't provide the services that were requested. Maybe the client is already enrolled in services at our organization. And then, of course, we have an other section for just to catch all if, there's another reason as to why you're rejecting this referral. So you'd click a reason as to why you're rejecting this referral, and given an opportunity to provide additional details and to give your partner a little bit more information as to why you're rejecting this referral. And then you would click reject. At that point, your referral partner would get a notification that you rejected the referral, which informs them that they know that Maggie did not receive the services that she was needing, which hopefully helps them act again on perhaps sending a referral to a different organization to help Maggie get what she needs. Okay, so for the purposes of this demo, I'll go ahead and go through the steps of accepting a referral. So I will click accept. And what I'm saying here by accepting this referral is just saying that, yes, I think that our organization could help Maggie. So we will go ahead and reach out to her. So I will say, thank you. We'll reach out this week. And I will accept it. So once I have accepted this referral, there's a sprout here that's growing that we can see. And now I've returned to my referral details screen. And again, we see that here this section where any comments my referral partner has made will appear here, and I can add comments to send messages to my referral partner as well. So once I have taken the necessary steps to act on a referral, I can complete the process and close the loop by clicking the complete button. And again, selecting one of these referral outcome options. So either my client I was able to enroll my client in services, perhaps the client declined services, or I could not contact the client after several attempts of trying to contact her. And again, there's an other section if none of those apply for whatever reason. So once I select an option, I can add additional comments just to give my partner more information. And then click complete. Okay.
Catherine,
So yeah, go ahead.
I do have one question. After
Yeah.
referral is completed, can agencies still use the communication tool of that referral card to send information back and forth, or can you only communicate when it's in the accepted?
Yes, that's a great question. You can still add comments to a referral even after it is completed.
Thank you.
Yep. So that communication is still open between partners. Okay. All right. So now that I've completed this referral, both organizations can now view the results of the referral if I go back to my home screen to the recently completed. So I see Maggie, her referral has been recently completed with a fully bloomed iris. And of course, I can always click on this referral card to go back to this referral if I need to refer to it for any reason. All right. So that's making a referral in Iris, accepting a referral in Iris. So now I'd like to cover a few additional features found in the navigation menu here. So I kind of talked about the switch access feature. Yeah, again, switch access is for individuals who might have access with multiple organizations in an Iris community, or again, kind of like what Mandy was talking about at the beginning of this meeting, if an organization belonged to multiple Iris networks, cross county or cross state, they would be able to use this switch access feature to move between those networks.
Catherine, can we take a few questions?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I have a couple of questions that were sent directly to me.
Okay.
So I want to start with that one. Danielle had asked, we have 3 sites in Hancock, Brown, and Pike County. If we joined, how would that affect our other 2 sites? I know we serve some clients from Fulton County at our Brown County site. So Danielle, did the demonstration answer that question for you?
Sort of yes and no. Our director, she had some questions. She was concerned that if we brought Hancock County in as a partner, that the other 2 sites would be left out.
Okay. Mary or Catherine, do we know if any of those other counties are currently being served by that organization, or is that something that we can check into? Or, I mean, if those other counties are being served by an Iris organization?
Certainly. I'm sorry, what were the county names again?
Brown County, Pike County.
Brown and Pike. They are familiar. I can go look at the map right now. I can say with 99.9% certainty that they are not currently in Iris communities, but also just because, again, they go outside a border doesn't mean that they can't be involved, if that makes sense. I believe Pike is being considered as like an extension of a current community, because just that an organization serves families that kind of live outside of particular counties or serve both. And so it's a little bit of a gray area. We certainly don't want programs getting left behind, but maybe utilizing the program in Hancock County would be a nice test to see if it's a good fit for the organization and something that could benefit those other counties should the opportunity arise.
Then we also had a question from Becky about whether or not organizations, once they're logged in, they will be able to see the capacity of other resources. And I think, Becky, was that question answered for you with the capacity bar once logged in?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. And then we have two more questions. Does the program remind you that you have a referral in process if it's been sitting at the accepted stage and hasn't been moved to completed? And that was from Stacy.
I'll touch on that one really quick. Thank you, Stacy. So there is no set time frame within IRIS because expectations and needs can kind of vary by community. But what we do is support development of workflows for organizations. Catherine will demonstrate a screen here shortly that you can go in and search for referrals that are sitting in perhaps sent status or accepted status to kind of make sure that, again, families aren't falling through the cracks, that referrals are being followed up on. Also, if you see that you sent a referral to your partner and it's been a week and they haven't accepted it, you can send them a message and kind of nudge them a little bit. And so there are workflow kind of suggestions that we have to make sure that those things don't happen. But as far as like receiving a notification outside of IRIS, that is not one of, there are several reasons or ways that you will get notifications, but that is not currently one of them. And then quickly to answer Danielle's question, Pike and Brown counties are in near Adams County, which currently has an IRIS community. And I believe that I'd be happy to kind of connect you with leadership in that community to talk about kind of how they serve those surrounding regions, because I know it has been a topic of conversation in that community. So if you're interested, I'm happy to make that connection offline.
Yes, Mary, can you send me your email and I will get you in contact with Katie? Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking the question.
And we have one last question from Jan, and that is, assuming the card can be submitted to several agencies depending on the need of the consumer. And yes, when you are in making a referral, like Catherine showed, you can click on multiple organizations that you want to make a referral to, and those organizations will be highlighted with the purple bar. And then when you click next, I think it is, or create a referral, you'll be able to move between those three. If you choose 2 partnering agencies, then it would give you 2 referral screens and so on and so forth. But yes, you can make multiple referrals at one time. Any other questions up to this point before we move on? Feel free to unmute and ask your question or type it in the chat. Okay. Take it away, Catherine.
All right. Okay, so so we're back at the navigation bar. Again, I just want to highlight a couple other features. So if we want to look at my community's referral information, so I can go to this All Referrals tab here, and this shows me my organization's referral data. So here on the referral grid, I'll see the latest referral activity. Above here are 3 data visualizations, which show the number of referrals this week that we've made or have interacted with. The average response time here, again, this is a training environment, disregard the 39 days average. And then our percent accepted referrals. We can filter through our referrals by searching first and last name of a of a family. We can filter by who the client was referred by or who they were referred to. And then kind of like what we were talking about before, if I wanted to come in here and say, okay, are any referrals sitting in certain statuses that we need to attend to? So I can look at, okay, which referrals have been sent but not accepted. And then I see these referrals here. So that's a good way for me to go in and see if we need to attend to certain referrals. And then you can also set date parameters on referrals to see, what referrals have been sent in a certain period of time. So that's the all referrals screen. From this menu, you can also do a raw data export. So there are a couple options. Referral history is a little bit more pared down, and then referral details has more information on it. Any individual in an organization is able to do a raw data export of the referrals that have occurred in their own organization. So that's the all referrals screen. Okay, so here we have the all families tab. So if I'm looking for a specific family, I can search for that family here by either first or last name. And so I see Maggie here. I can click on her name, and this will show me all the referral activity for Maggie that my organization has been involved in. So any referrals that have been sent by my organization or received by my organization. And I can go in and click on specific referral cards that show me again that referral details screen. This is also a place where I can find their contact information or edit any of their contact information. Okay. All right. Going on to partner organizations, this is a great menu that if you want to look at, at a glance, who are the partners in your IRIS network? They will all be in this menu here. You can search by partners. You can also, if you're wanting to know, okay, what are all the behavioral health partner organizations that we have in our network, you can search by these service area filters again. This is a great way to just get to know your network, learn who's in your organization, what kind of service areas you're working with. And from here, you can click on an organization and again, get that additional details menu for that organization to know, their eligibility criteria and so on. Okay, so that's the partner organizations tab. We have a community documents tab, which, like it says, community documents can be uploaded to this section if there are community standards or certain forms that, users or organizations might need to reference every once in a while. Any shared community documents can be uploaded here on this screen. Okay, I really want to touch on the reports feature. This is a really great feature in IRIS. So these are our within IRIS reports that can be run really easily. So we have a community referrals report. So it's all the referral information. It's aggregate data across the community. So I can click here. It prompts me to set date parameters. If I don't want to do that, I can just click run report to run a report from the beginning of our community to today. So I run the report and it shows me all the community data to date in our IRIS network. So the total number of referrals that have been sent, and it breaks down the referrals here. So if I want to know how many have been completed, how many have been rejected, and then over here, it breaks down even further the completed referrals and all of the reasons. So if I was seeing for some reason a ton of could not contact here, that's a great visualization for me to kind of look into that to see what's going on in our community. And then again, it breaks down the rejected numbers as well. And then down here, we see referrals by organization. So each organization in my IRIS community, I see how many are incoming and outgoing. So that's helpful information for us as well to know who are some key players in our organization, who's sending a lot of referrals, who's receiving a lot of referrals. Okay, and this is a printable report as well.
And
So if
Catherine,
yeah.
that is available to everybody who's a partner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this aggregate data is available to all partners.
Great. That'll be awesome for grant
Mhm.
reporting.
Yes. Okay, so these two, the incoming referrals report and outgoing, are community-specific reports. So these are, this is data that's specific to my community that I have access to. So here I can, so this is a section, if I have access to multiple communities in my network, I can, I have all this access because I, am an admin in here, but so if I want to look at, okay, I'm in early intervention, I want to know what referrals are coming into early intervention, I can run this report. So I see all the referrals that early intervention has received and by who, so health department has been sending us a lot of referrals. Again, I can see the status of these referrals, how many have been completed, rejected, and so on. And then same thing for outgoing referrals. If I want to know what are the outgoing referrals in early intervention, same thing. I know who we've been sending to and what the status of those referrals are.
And just a quick clarification, Catherine, I think you're accidentally saying community instead of organization.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. This data is siloed by organization.
Community.
So you will, yeah, but yeah, so you will only, yes, you will only see data to organizations that you have access to in IRIS. But if you are, I think we're talking about an organization earlier who has multiple sites across this 4-county region. So if you have different profiles to keep that those workflows separate, that data separate, because it'll just be easier for the staff at those sites, but you're a supervisor or someone who oversees the entire region, you could easily, as Catherine demonstrated, kind of toggle between your programs to kind of see the data at a glance. And so just wanted to quickly jump in and clarify.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
So we offer substance abuse counseling, outpatient counseling, and psychiatric services, along with residential for those that have intellectual disabilities. Is that going to give us one IRIS account, or will that be separate? Will each department have their own?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. That is really a question, that's really a workflow question. So it's really up to you how you want to set up your organization,
Okay.
how you want to set up multiple departments. We definitely work with a lot of organizations in IRIS that have multiple departments, such as, school districts or health departments that certainly have multiple IRIS accounts for those specific departments. So it's a matter of workflow, it's a matter of confidentiality as well.
Okay.
So that's certainly a possibility for you guys.
But it is an option to have them all as one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I was just curious on how that worked. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so go ahead, Mary.
I was just going to tag onto that. Potentially another question that pops up when we start talking about number of profiles is that we will also not limit the number of users that you need to have at your organization, whether it's one person that interacts with all referrals for your organization, or you want to make sure that all 5 staff in the office or whatever it looks like for you. We will not limit or tell you how to use it. We will provide you with resources to help you figure out how it will best support your organization. But just as you're thinking about workflows, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay, and kind of lastly, what I want to touch on is just this help feature. So this help tab takes us to our IRIS Find Answers page. It's home to a number of how-to articles, some video tutorials. There's a lot of resources here to help users navigate IRIS with confidence, to answer questions, and to just explore IRIS and all the capabilities that it has. And then otherwise, we have a help desk, irisadmin@ku.edu, that can field any technical questions and support needs. So that is the end of our demonstration. Thanks, everyone. Oh, and then I have, if you want to share our slide again, we have a couple other slides to touch on. Perfect.
So
Mary, did you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I'll just kind of quickly take the baton and touch on data. So you saw a number of ways that users will input information into IRIS. Anything that you put into IRIS, you can export out. It is your data, it is your community data. You should have it in accessible and meaningful ways. And so we certainly have resources to help you consider how to utilize the data that's available to you in IRIS. Building an understanding of network partners, areas like the partner organization screen. You can export even the partner information to kind of see who's in the area, where there are gaps in services. The capacity bar is, again, you put information into it, you can get it out. So if your organization is one whose capacity fluctuates a lot, you can kind of look at trends in your capacity, maybe compare it to the number of referrals that you're receiving or the time of year, whatever's kind of most meaningful to you. Engagement. You saw that community referrals report. We can see who are the really engaged partners in the community, where are services really needed right now? Are there services that are needed that perhaps aren't represented in our network yet? We need to do some more outreach. So here's just kind of an overview. There are a number of ways that we can kind of jump in and talk about using the data. It will not all fall on your shoulders. You have wonderful resources and leaders in Mandy and Christine that already have kind of fantastic ideas about how to use the data, and we will be walking alongside you. Again, as partners in this, we want you to have your data in meaningful ways. And so a couple of ways that we show that, if you'll go to the next slide, we have just a couple of examples of, you saw the reports and the raw data that's available within IRIS. Our team will also share with you on a quarterly basis a community dashboard that, again, gives the overall kind of view of what's happening in the community, the numbers of partners that are engaged, response times, outcomes for partners, that type of thing. And then the next slide is another example of kind of what we can do with the data. This is representing the referral pathways available or that have taken place in the community. The circles that you see are represent partners available in the community, and then the arrows are the referral pathways. The width is kind of the number of referrals that have been sent. So at a glance, we kind of start to get a picture of what's happening in the community. Obviously, this is fake data with just an example organizations, but we will be able to build one of these for your community very soon, and I'm excited to see it grow over time. And yep, great, that's the last data visual. So certainly we are just scratching the surface of the data conversation into something that we will really dig into during the implementation process.
Thank you, Mary and Catherine. That was really helpful to go through that demo. I'm Christine Nicholson. I'm the Director of Early Beginnings. We are a parent support program that serves families prenatally to age 3. And I'm, like Mandy said, the co-director of our ROE26 IRIS community collaboration. I'm going to be giving a brief overview of the IRIS implementation process, what that's going to look like for us as a community, and where we'll be moving forward in the future. So as you can see, the IRIS implementation process can be viewed as a series of steps that we're working through, from laying the groundwork in our community to being connected and communicating more effectively, and then finally being able to measure our success. We have already laid the groundwork to have a strong IRIS collaboration in our region. As Mandy talked about when she was telling our story, from securing the funding to create this to building our ROE26 IRIS implementation team. And that team consists of Mandy, who is our system and data manager, myself, community champion, Lael McKee, wave to him, Lael, system and data assistant, and Randy Nance is our community resource assistant. So now we've moved into the planting seeds step, as you guys can see there, where we're engaging our potential partners. Our team has presented to the interagency councils in our 4 counties, and we've begun creating an advisory board of key partners. After that, we're moving into the strong roots step. As we prepare to launch IRIS, we begin to agree as a community what collaboration for us is going to look like and start to build those community standards. And then as our IRIS blooms, we'll launch the program and then ultimately be able to cultivate on that success by being able to evaluate the program, view our community data, and refine our approach. So some expectations of agencies that are going to partner with us and participate in the IRIS collaboration. You'll want to decide, they talked about in the demo that workflow, you'll want to decide as an organization what your expectations for use are. Create or add to your current document. The, sorry.
We just got some feedback. Sorry about that.
Create or adopt these releases and IRIS consent forms. Allow time for your staff to be able to be trained in using IRIS and get comfortable with using the system. And then agree to and use our community standards that we create. And then we'll have quarterly meetings with our partners to participate in these conversations that will help strengthen and grow our network. The expectations for partners and the community standards that we keep talking about, these are things that we'll create together. These are things that we'll all agree on together and that we'll create as a team. Some things to think about when you're trying to decide if IRIS is a good fit for your agency. And we plan to have me talk on this because I've had to kind of work through this too and decide and think about what IRIS will mean for my program at Early Beginnings and what it will mean for my staff. So think about what your current referral practices are. What's working well for you and where have your challenges been? What support and planning would your staff need to implement a new process? Then consider what might be best for your organization. Would that be receiving and sending referrals? Would that be just sending referrals or just receiving referrals? And other considerations would be who at your agency would need access. Would there be one person that would be doing this? Would all of your staff have access to your IRIS platform? And then who would be responsible for keeping your profile up to date, keeping that capacity bar up to date? And then who would be participating in these quarterly IRIS partner meetings? Who would be connecting with the other IRIS partner agencies, who would be monitoring the data, and who would be bringing up any concerns or addressing any concerns? So what's next for us? An IRIS implementation survey is going to be sent out to all potential partners. So please be looking for that and get that completed. Also be watching the ROE26 website. We do have an IRIS page now where you can get all of our up-to-date information, what we're working on, links for important meetings that are coming up. And then mark your calendars to join us. Our next meeting will be April 5th at 10 a.m. on Zoom also.
We'll also be posting the recording from today's session on the website. So you'll be able to share that with other organizations that you would like them to watch, or if you have a supervisor or something like that, that you would like to have them watch this, we're going to be posting a link there. So.
So before we leave, we wanted to share with you organizations that have already committed yes in our region to partnering with our IRIS collaboration. I'll give you guys a minute to look through that. And then we've had several organizations that have indicated maybe they're interested. They wanted some more additional information. So hopefully after today's meeting, some of these maybes will be transitioning into a yes. Well, thank you for taking time to join us and learn more about the IRIS collaboration. We have time now to open it up for questions that you may have. So feel free to drop questions in the chat, unmute, ask us.
We must have done an amazing job. We've got
No
crickets. We've got crickets.
Mandy, Christine, I'll jump in real quick. And I got a question that in the chat that actually you touched on at the very beginning. So just wanting to kind of come back and reiterate that ROE 26 did a wonderful job applying for a Birth to 5 grant. And so they are covering the cost of implementation of IRIS and use for the first 3 years. So just kind of, if you want to reiterate, cost is covered, no cost for partners to
Right.
join now or the first 3 years.
At this point, it is completely free for all organizations from now of 2023 to 2026 through 2026. After that, we will be looking for additional ways to continue to fund IRIS, so it will be free of charge, hopefully forever. But if not, then we will discuss ways at our quarterly meetings on ways that we could spread the cost amongst all agencies. But there's been a couple of different ideas that have been thrown out. So we are very hopeful that we'll be able to cover the cost of this for the long haul. So I wouldn't stress about the cost at this point.
Mary, do you know, is it free for Adams County too?
It is. So Adams County is funded through an All Our Kids network. And so it is the same up there. And I will share that that is kind of the norm across the state. There is a funding organization, often grants that cover the cost. I can't think of actually a single IRIS community anywhere in the country that has had to kind of split the cost to organization by organization. So yes, as Mandy said, I would imagine that they will continue to have success in finding grants as other communities have.
Any other questions? All right. Well, if we don't have any other further questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. But if you do come up with any questions, you can email our IRIS team. We are iris@roe26.net, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. But otherwise, you can follow us on the ROE page, roe26.net/iris. And again, we'll be keeping that calendar up to date for all upcoming meetings and posting videos and all of that kind of fun stuff. So we want to have a central location for you to be able to access all of that. So thank you guys very much for joining.